Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Jeremy. This is Jeremy Rewinds, and today we're going over a ton of pickups from a Sega Genesis to a Game Gear to all kinds of stuff, even a CRT.
Press start, let the adventures unfold. Retro game.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Help grow this channel. We've been doing this for a few years now. I'd say probably 2 years going on. And I love journaling and on this adventure of game collecting, of all this nostalgia that's in this room. It's ridiculous, I know. Today though, I usually do my few rants in the beginning here. Sorry if you don't like it, skip ahead a couple of minutes. First thing I want to rant on about was the more I was setting up lighting in this morning in here. You can see I got one of my lights there and one over here behind me. This room is just dark. The builder did a great job in this house. Obviously some levels of just whatever the bare minimum is just what's going to happen. But the room is dark in many areas. If we go over this direction, see how like all of a sudden I'm dark here? Look at this. This whole side of the room is like pitch black because there's one little light for this monstrosity of a space. You got two lights over the stairs, one little light there, and two lights over here. This is almost a 900 square foot room. Two of the lights are really for the stairs. So really you have three lights for this entire space. Kind of crazy.
They've gone cray cray.
But anyways, I'm gonna run beautiful. I can't wait. It's probably gonna be next month. But I already priced everything out. It's not super expensive, but it is more than I would like to obviously spend. But I think it's necessary. Come on, let's get some light on me. Ooh. Hey, there we go, a little bit better. Wow, it looked like it's... You ever put those lights like when you're like a kid and you're like... Damn! Anyways, that's what it feels like. So anyways, let's talk about the first thing. It's so heavy, I'm not picking it up. It is a Panasonic TrueFlat VCR DVD combo with the remote. Beautiful condition. She works great. And it was, you ready for this? Free 99.
It's free.
Yes, you heard me correct, ladies and gentlemen. It is one more for the game room. It is completely free. I love free. But then again, who doesn't love free? But then again, if it's something you don't really want, does it really matter if it is free? I don't know. Today's thought.
What is wrong with you?
That said, no, I haven't had any coffee or anything else. This is just my normal morning routine. I'm just usually pretty wired in the morning to a degree. I get up at 4:30. I go to work, usually somewhere between 5:30 and 6, and I leave about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. About 2 o'clock in the afternoon, sometimes 1 o'clock, I hit a hard wall because I've been turning and burning that whole time. Anyways, side story, sorry. That TV, I'm jacked about. It was free. She said it didn't work after she sold it. Told me like, hey, yes, it's going to be a great TV. Because I told her I was replacing one I gave to my daughter for her room. She wanted a little one, CRT, because she's into the 90s with a DVD player to watch like Friends and nonsense. And so I was like, I want that for the game room. I can hook a game console to it. Anyways. She tested it. She goes, it doesn't work. I was heartbroken, tears. But then she said, oh, I put a Blu-ray in it. It was a DVD player. It was hilarious. Either way, everything's test, everything's worked. The remote, they left the batteries in it. And you know what batteries do inside of a remote? They explode. Yeah, so I'm going to take some vinegar, disassemble it, see if I can get it to work. If I can get it to work, even better. But regardless, I'm jacked. Now, the biggest thing you saw in the thumbnail that we're going to go over today is right here. Not this. Well, that'll be a different vid. My phone's going off. I gotta see what that is. We're gonna go over a Sega Genesis, a Game Gear, Game Genie, all kinds of stuff. I'm jacked. Let's get in it. Hello and welcome. No, that's not it.
Hello and welcome.
But we are gonna go over a ton of pickups. So let me get down to the main part of today's video. I already showed you one piece of it. The other piece I haven't shown you yet. I mean, I kind of did. You saw it in the thumbnail. So I'm going to turn and burn a few videos here. But this, ladies and gentlemen, this is a pickup that I did the other day. Ooh, let me see if I can carry it. Oh, There are Genesis games. There's a Game Gear. And the best part is, let me tell you about this guy. Super cool guy. Love, if you ever watch, I guess send him a copy or a link to the channel. Hopefully you subscribed. Beautiful house, like I told him the other day when I was there. Did not expect that. Just, you know, just gorgeous piece of property. But that aside, this was his as a kid. I buy a lot of video games from people, video game stores, or just people on Marketplace and things like that. I'm sure the majority of it probably comes from their kids or maybe when there was a kid, but he actually mentioned that to me and I was like, that's really, really cool. I definitely want to keep these in the collection. The first one that I was jacked about that I actually saw him post is a Sega Game Gear. Now this Game Gear, unfortunately, it does work. That is not the unfortunate part. And look at this. Not only, look at this box. Look at that box. That's the reason I bought this. If the Game Gear works, great. You guys know, and I don't know if he knows or not. I'm sure he saw if you watched the other video. Where is it at? I do not know. It's somewhere up here, maybe downstairs. I do not know. But I have a Sega Game Gear that I got from a friend, and I had it completely redone. New caps, the soundboard, Eric will remember if he watches. He's the guy that does all my repairs when I don't feel comfortable, especially on the the soldering side of things. I got a Game Gear from a friend and it was completely cooked. Game Gears in general, first off, don't ever feel bad. They're always like 9 out of 10 are cooked, right? Boards are bad because capacitors leaked. The inside of these here, those are usually corroded. This is in great shape. It definitely has some scuffing. I'm going to move my glasses here. Definitely has some scuffing on it. The biggest problem you can see, if you can't see, there's a crack in the screen. Now here's the cool thing. I popped some batteries in it. It does turn on. It is not the greatest of screen, but then again, these old TFT or whatever it is, they kind of stink. So what I'm going to do is eventually I'm going to give it off to Eric. I'll have him put a new capacitors in here, but the sound card does not work. So basically it just needs a new everything, right? So I'm looking at really a shell. Now, the reasons why is because I want to keep this in the collection because one, this actually came in this box, and because it was his and I definitely loved everything about the story and so many other things, I want to keep it in the collection as is. So I'll make it right. We'll put it back in the box and it'll just sit in the box because like I said, I have a really nice one that we new capacitored it. We did a LCD screen to it and we did a new soundboard as well. He might have actually given me a new board in general all the way around. It might just be a shell. I'm pretty sure it might just be a shell based on what I remember. But dude, this thing is really cool to have. The best part again, it's in the box. That's upside down. Anyways, there's that, and it came with the cardboard. It came with the Game Gear manual, a poster. Super, super cool. Like I say, definitely bummed that it is in the non-working condition, really, that it is, because, you know, it is what it is. But I'm also not heartbroken about it because the box is the biggest reason I was buying it in the first place. So we're going to put it back in here. Eventually I'll get it to Eric and he can make this thing brand new for me. But that's cool. Look how beautiful that box is. Now I can check that off the list. Game Gear box. Moving on from there and talking more about the Game Gear, he gave 5 games with it. First one we have, Madden 95. Next one we have, I'm going to take these out of the cases, if I can. We have X-Men. Then, the one that came with the packing with that is Columns. We have The Big Hurt. I think it's called The Big Hurt, yeah. Frank Thomas. Baseball. See my baseball? World Cup USA 94. Also included was this little carrying case thing right here, which I'm sure went, oh my gosh, almost dropped it, which probably went inside of a sleeve of some kind, because like I have a Game Gear carrying case of such that's like an aftermarket one. Looks a lot like this, So he might have had the same one, but what I didn't have, this is a Sega AC adapter for your car, so you can play it on the go. Also came with the almighty brick, the yellow tip, so you can use that with your Game Gear. You can use it with your 32X. You can use it with the Model 2. I think a Model 3 as well. And then it also came with this, which I was also pretty excited about. This is called the Sega Super Wide. So basically what you do is you would fold this down, pull this piece out. Your Game Gear clips in here. I should have showed you while it was out, but your Game Gear clips in here, and this clips around the back. And just like the Game Boy that had a big wide view screen, now you can have a wide view screen as well for your Sega.
Coffee? Tea?
Sega!
Got all that, jacked about all that. Got a great price. Also came with manuals. Game Gear, I don't care if they're in the box. Those that have been watching for a while know I like to collect for Game Gear, but I definitely want the manual, the game, and a case for the game. I don't, the cases themselves are cardboard, so they're like NES, Super Nintendo, and it jacks the price up way more than I think it's worth. So I'm only care about the manual, the cart, and the little plastic thing. Now, if I do find one that is at loose price in the box, sure, why not? And the last manual right there. So you've got all the manuals for World Cup, Big Hurt, Madden, Super Collins. So the only one missing would be X-Men. Going on from there, and I saw his listing on the way there for this other Sega. By the way, he has a Super Nintendo posted. Wasn't interested in it because it didn't have the box. I have a Super Nintendo box. The one end is missing. If he had the box and it was in great shape, I definitely would have done a condition upgrade. But didn't have a Game Gear in the box. Now I do. Didn't have a couple of those games. Now I do. And so I'm jacked to have the whole thing. But that said, this I did not have. Well, I shouldn't say I didn't have. I have this, but I don't know. There's two versions of the Game Genie. The Game Genie came in a black and a gold. This one inside, if I'm not mistaken here, I'll take a peek real quick and pull this out so you can see it. Everything is inside. I was very tickled to see all this. That's it right there. Look, it's got the manual in the back. There's your cart. It's a black cart with a gold sticker. And I think the other one is a black cart with a silver sticker. But I got crickets, the manual just fell out. And for those of you that are like, it's not complete without a registration card, there's your reg card. I don't understand the mindset behind CIB all of a sudden now doesn't mean CIB unless it has a registration card. That's fine, to each their own. But for me, registration card or not, it doesn't break my heart if it's there or not. But, come on baby, slide up in. There we go. Let me put this back in here. Now one thing while I'm moving on to the next item I forgot to mention, besides this dude being very cool and chit-chatting with him about games and he's got an NES that he's thinking about getting rid of, he worked for EA. How freaking cool is that? He worked for EA and I was like, stop it, say no more. I'm like, this dude's got to have some cool stuff. That's just a game dreamer or a game lover and a person that grew up wanting to be a game developer as a kid. Why I have these letters on the wall back here from Nintendo that I wrote to them about. And having not obviously gone that route, as we've also discussed, I think it's really cool that he was able to accomplish that in his life. But I'm telling you what, it is super cool guy. I'm super happy to add all these to the collection. The games that came with the Sega, we have Sonic 2, the regular version, not the not for resale that you see a million copies of. Tasmania. This is no artwork, but it has, was that James Buster Douglas? Yeah, boxing. Actually, it says it right there on the end. That is wild. Yeah, it's literally been cut. I didn't even pay attention. I saw it on the side, so when they were all like, you know, like this, but I didn't pay attention. I knew that it was missing when I got there. I saw it, but whatever. Then, Bulls versus Blazers. EA Sports. This is the limited edition. I don't know if I have that version or not. One game that I definitely did not have in my collection is this game right here called Fighting Force, I think it's called, or Fighting Masters. Free Inciting Fighting Masters Collector's Cards. Bro.
Oh, bro.
Where's my cards? Label is in really good shape. It is missing the manual, so I'll have to search for the manual. Giant Red Sun will go Nova within hours. 12 star systems will be destroyed. One contest will decide who or what survives. So it's like Mortal Kombat. Fighting to save the world. Handful of people in a leaky boat are gonna save the world. What line is that from a movie? NFL 95 cardboard. She has seen some things. And came with another poster. There is all the inserts. This is really cool. I think this is a advertisement poster. Or was this, yeah, this is just an advertisement poster. I used to love seeing these when I was a kid. I have a lot of these already in a lot of my games, so I'll put this in, because that's what it would have came in as one of your games. Came with this. This was actually inside the box. I'm glad it was in the box, because who knows what kind of condition this would have been in otherwise. I mean, this is cool. This is by Sega. This is the original controller pad. I have the 6-button one. Right here is the 6-button one. This is the one that changed everything. 3 buttons, it's a great pad. I think the controller works phenomenal. The 6-button changed everything, because you had those extra buttons, which is what we all ended up going towards anyways with like Super Nintendo and PlayStation, whatever else. But very cool to have both variants, the 3 and the 6-button in the collection in their boxes. I'm sure you guys saw it a few weeks ago. If not, I probably haven't posted it yet. It's still dangling out of it, but this is the NES Max in its box. I have a lot of controllers in their boxes because it's unique. Anyways, and the last piece that made me decide to buy it, the Sega Genesis lot, was this variant. This box is in excellent condition. It does missing the UPC code. Everybody cut those off and mailed them away for something. There was probably some mail away. Send the code in, or the UPC code in, and you get a free game or a subscription to Sega Vision or whatever it was. When those suckers are missing, it's always some kind of mailing, because I remember my Sega Genesis that I got as a Christmas gift one year from my parents was the core system. But if you mailed the UPC in with, like, I don't know, shipping and handling, $3, $5, whatever it probably would have been, you got Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for free $99. So anyways, yeah. So that's why I'm sure that's missing. But look at this. This is the Street Fighter 2 edition. I don't have this variant. I was jacked to see it because, one, you don't really see it too often, and number two, his box was in really good shape. And this was stored inside of this box, which I'm very grateful for. So thank you to your mom if you're watching this. Tell her I appreciate that. Because if that hadn't been, I'm sure that box would have been toast. But here's the inside of that box. And inside of this is very clean. I mean, very clean. Sega Genesis Model 1. This is probably the cleanest Model 1 that I've ever bought from anybody. It has to be. It comes with your RF, for those that are old like me and know. It also came with, for those that are old like me and know, who remembers seeing TVs? Like, you would have the RF for the one end, but your TV had these. Tell me down below in the comments if you've seen these before, if you know what these are.
What is this guy saying?
If you do, you're old. And it came with the brick, which is for the Model 1. Also came with the controller. And all the, you got the Genesis instruction manual here, poster, another little insert, and Streets of Rage 2. This is the not for resale version. I'm going to leave it in the box because I already have a copy of this complete in box. But I want to keep this with this because that makes it complete. And like I said, I want to keep this in my collection. So I'm really appreciative of all of that. All right, and that's going to complete today's video. Thank you guys so much for coming along. I'll see you guys in next week when I go over more stuff. Yes, I'll be wearing the same getup because today is July 5th, the day after July the 4th, day before July the 6th. That's not why I'm mentioning all this. I'm mentioning it simply because I'm gonna do these videos back to back to back, and exactly at 11 o'clock today, I'm leaving the house to go see Jurassic World Rebirth. We're going to some kind of fancy theater where you like sit down and they like have like actual food. It's over in Margaritaville if you're in the Kissimmee area or the Florida area, Central Florida, whatever. Studio Movie Grill, I think is what it's called. We're gonna go check it out. Wanted to go see it in Rio D, 4D, 5D, whatever it is, where there's like 3D and the chair shakes and moves and all kinds of stuff, but my son doesn't do super well with 3D stuff. I don't do super well with 3D, but maybe the 4D might have been too much. 3D I'm good with, but it's 4D, that 5D that may be too much. Anyways, I'm on a tangent. I'll see you guys right here next time on Jeremy Rewinds.
Press start, let the adventures unfold. Retro Game Fest.